Good evening, everyone. This is New Brighton, the activated one. Break it down the portals. Now, when you see a portal is something that's going to bring um, intel through that circular sphere. Well, not a sphere because the sphere is three-dimensional, but the portal is actually a portal. It is porting something. So to give you an example. Now, the majority of the so-called black race, they smoke Newports. Why are they called Newports? The reason why they're called Newports is because some of the Africans that came here, because you have the Africans and then you had the Nubians. So the Africans that had came here on the ships, they came to a new port. So when you smoke Newports, that's basically saying that you're still enslaved. That's what Newport means, because you came to a new port. What is a port? A port is something new or something next. I'm just going to say something next. It's something next that comes to something that is in the past, present, or future. So the portal, when you're dealing with portals, just like in your like on your skin, what do you have in your skin? You have pores. You have pores in your skin. The pores in your skin is what something can penetrate through. So I don't even want to talk about the coronavirus, 5G, none of that, because we moving forward. We don't have time to be talking about 5G and the coronavirus, because everybody knows right now in this day and time dealing with this coronavirus and 5G that there's we moving forward. So the portals, when you're dealing with portals, like I said, you have to break the word down first. Port tails. So what is the port? The port is the space and time which something can travel or project through. So these portals are allegedly shaped like a circle. Why is that? Because when you're dealing with quantum physics, you're dealing with 1, 0s, 1, 1, 0, 0. They're all codes. So when you're dealing with a portal, what's going to come through the portal? In some of these movies, you see some of these movies. One of them is one movie is The Avengers. The Avengers, when they had that base, I forgot which Avenger movie was it, but they had that base, and then that one Avenger that was holding the staff, he had walked through the portal. What they're doing is showing you that the circle and the linear work in a dual process. So when somebody walks through the portal, that's the linear. That's the linear. That's the one coming through the portal. Ones and zeros. That's why I received my name, New Bright 10. The 10 is a 1 and a 0. The 10. So these portals that are being opened up is going to bring intel. The intel is always going to be futuristic. It's always going to be something that is going to, what's coming through the portal is intel. That's why it's called portals, because they're porting intel. And I keep telling people that intel is where the connection to the upper dimensions are at. It's not the information. Information is good. If you're trying to make money, you're trying to prove a point in this three-dimensional realm. Yeah, the intel is all good. But when you're dealing with portals, the portals are only going to transport intel. That's why they're called portals, because they're transporting intel. They're transporting futuristic intel. So these beings that come through these portals, they're already futuristic. They're already highly advanced. They already know what they're going to do. They're not taking no orders from nobody. They're coming, and what they're going to do is they're going to establish an order for the future. Breaking down portals. Because when you port, you have to transport. That's where the word transport comes from. You're transporting what? Doesn't matter what you're transporting, because the transport, when you're dealing with these upper dimensions, is the tail, the portal. They're porting futuristic intel. So the ones that are coming through these portals that are open up, some people call them stargates. These portals that are opening up are transporting the ones that walk through the portal. That's why when you have a satellite and you look at a satellite dish, you see the circle of the dish, and it always has an extended point. Without the extended point, the circle means nothing. They can't receive or send out nothing without the point. So when somebody walks through these portals, they're actually a futuristic being that's coming into the past to send out intel. Actually, they're not even going to send out intel. I'm not even going to say that. What they're doing is they're bringing in intel, and they're moving the planet forward for the futuristic agenda. That's what the word portal means. They're porting intel. Portal. So when you're tapped into 144 hertz, that's what the 144,000 is. 144 hertz. Your mind's moving at 144 hertz a second. So you're tapped into the higher dimensions that has nothing to do with anything that's on this planet. What are you doing? You're a receiver. So you receive, and then you put the intel out, because we're living, the so-called black race, we're living in a state of information and intel. But a lot of people's tapping into the information, they're not tapping into intel. The intel is where the power is at. The electrical surge, the electrical surge, 144 hertz a second. The portals, the stargates. It's what the Egyptians called them, was the stargates. But they're portals. They're sort of like wormholes. When you're dealing with these wormholes, connecting these upper dimensions to the lower dimensions, wormholes. But you have to have a portal to connect to the wormhole. Breaking down the portal. Portal, porting intel. So when that intel walks through, because it could be just one being. One being can walk through there, and on one planet, one being can walk through that portal and cause a whole planetary shift. on the whole planet. Portal. That's where they got, you know, the Bible with the Jesus story, you know, the Son of Man, the Son of God. That's where they got that from. They got it from ancient Kemet. But what the real story was, a being walking through a portal and doing a planetary shift. That's what that means. The portal, porting the upper dimensional intel. And dealing with these wormholes, because the wormholes are a lot of these wormholes are connections to a lot of different things, other galaxies and other dimensions. But when you're dealing with the sun consists of plasma, so you have to use plasma to open up these portal holes. Look at all these these plasma stations around the nation and around the world. They want the plasma for a reason. That the plasma is more important than the blood, because they don't want the blood, they want the plasma. Now, my mentor had broke that down on how they want the plasma and not the blood. Never forgot that, how my mentor had broke that down. Because I am not, one thing about me, you have to understand, I am not a teacher. I am an extended student. I don't like to use the word master because master came from mankind. That's why I don't use that word. I am a extended student. The portals. Are these portals open? If they are, who's coming through them? Because it only takes one to alter and shift a planet. A planetary shift. The portal. Porting the intel. Portel. So I just wanted to do this video. I always do quick videos. I get straight to the point. There's no time to be, you know, lacking and dragging these videos on. But just breaking down a portal. Portal. Porting the intel. It's the activated one. I'm up.